Worst Pawn Star Deals Ever. Hey guys, welcome back to Film Viral. Pawn Stars has seen its usual and unusual memorable items. Each episode has many notable things, or either seller that made each event different from the others. These Pawn Stars have also dealt with everything from relics to autographs and anything in between during the 17 seasons of the reality show, up till now. But sometimes these stars are also scammed by the sellers. Here are those few deals that turned out to be worse for the Pawn Stars. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Also, if you're a fan of the show, then let us know by liking the video. Let's begin. Number 5. Willy Wonka Props. In this fantastic episode, you will see Rick as if he has gone back to his childhood years. Rick heads to Los Angeles in Season 14 to dig into a reserve of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory props. This collection featured some of the most remarkable artifacts from the 1971 film. Rick was so excited when he saw these props rolling in by the seller. These props mainly included Willy Wonka's signature hat, which was brownish but not in excellent shape, a golden ticket, a golden big egg, and a few Wonka bars too. Moreover, the Gobstopper, which was caged in a glass box, was the main thing Rick wanted. Rick agreed in the end, $105,000 for these props, and he was feeling so happy to have them all that he even took a selfie with the hat. Number 4. Austin Healey Sprite. The Austin Healey Sprite is a famous and small open sports car that was manufactured in the United Kingdom from 1958 to 1971. Rick Harrison would have made ridiculous mistakes and forgot about that car that needed checking. He was so head over heels to have this Austin Healey that he believed the seller right away. The curious vehicle may have looked the part, but the red flags really should have started appearing when the owner couldn't get the engine to start over. But even after this, Rick didn't notice the red flags and made a deal for this for about $5,000. Also, the owner confessed that the battery must have been dead, and Rick believed him and didn't even bother to lift the turf and check if the seller was telling him was correct. In the end, Rick ended up buying this car and learned that it would cost a fortune to repair. Number 3. Ford Mustang Hertz Penske GT. The Pawn Star boys were very much interested in cars. They also spent a fortune on a special edition 2014 Ford Penske Mustang GT, which had been upgraded and customized by Hertz. This piece was one of the cars that were made when 150 cars for racing were made. They paid about $60,000 for the limited edition vehicle, which wasn't a terrible deal and the seller's lowest acceptable one. But the sale wasn't just a case of bad timing. Only a few months after Rick Harrison bought the car, Ford launched the new 6th generation Mustang, which meant that collectors only had eyes for the new and improved vehicle. That is when the $60,000 deal looked like a lot of money, but nothing could be done, and the team strived to make their money back on this deal. Number 2. Shekel of Tyre. Among the vastly popular types of ancient and unique coins are Shekel of Tyre, the first silver coinage of an important maritime city in ancient Phoenicia. These coins gathered great importance due to their profoundly biblical connection, and still they are of high demand. A customer walked in the pawn shop with a shekel of Tyre and presented it to Rick and offered to sell it. After all negotiations and haggling, Rick ended up buying it for $1,600 from that person. But the deal went entirely wrong when a few days later, the coin ended up being stolen. Number 1. Book signed by Shoeless Joe Jackson. Pawn Stars have also been scammed in many live shows. One of the baseball's all-time most prominent players, Shoeless Joe Jackson, is very popular among high-paying collectors, especially when it is to items with the player who is not even literate autographed. Additionally, the man came along with a book that a guy had brought for sale, and to our surprise, it was signed by Shoeless Joe Jackson. For instance, Herman is a person that sold something signed by Shoeless Joe Jackson for $23,000 a few years ago. Unfortunately, the book turned out to be fake, and the Pawn Stars lost the fortune they spent on the book. To worsen the situation, they sent the book to be checked if it was original or not. The book came back with a rejection letter proving that the book showed signs of being traced and it was fake. It's sporadic for Rick, of all the Pawn Stars on the show, to make a mistake as silly and as devastating as this one, with that book. But we're sure that he must have learned a crucial lesson from this experience. Pawn Stars are one of the most famous shows on channel history, as it focuses on some of the more unusual items which are brought into the famous gold and silver pawn shop. Moreover, the things which are brought here are probably having the most exciting, colorful past, or which were once owned by the celebrities, or are just worthy and antique. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stick around for more amazing content, as we will soon see you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.